BpsRps are live 4/13/22. It's Wednesday night. Barb was having a lovely mid-week day. Today, basically, the Phillies embarrassed themselves to the Mets. Peter Alonso just totally destroyed them. 9-6 victory for the Metropolitans. It'd be cool if the Phillies had an ace that could have been a stopper who went up against Max Scherzer with the same talent and heart that Scherzer has. Props to the Philadelphia fans with Alec Boehm. They gave him a standing ovation last night after his comments about playing in Citizens Bank Park. Very, very proud. Very proud. Alec Boehm definitely deserved it. Hopefully, this will spur him to greater things. Alec Boehm's he's got a lot of potential. Have you guys been watching Maikel Franco? He's been on fire for Washington. Imagine if the Phillies still had him at third base, they'd be 4-2. He'd be 5-1. Today, what happened today in baseball history? Hank Aaron debuted 1954, went 0 for 5. Pete Rose recorded his first major league hit today. He tripled off of Pittsburgh's Bob Friend. 1963. Today it was Jimmy, good victory today, brother. Reggie Candy Bar Day for Reggie Jackson today in 1978. Thurman Munson said this: if you open the bar up, it'll tell you just how good it tastes. Sort of like taking a shot, throwing shade. I think that's the phrase. At Reggie Jackson. Pete Rose hit his 4,000th hit today while he was at the Expos. 1984 off Jerry Koosman, who was a pretty good pitcher. And Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 300th career home run today. Birthdays, my boy Wes Chamberlain, 1966. Mark Leiter, 1963. And it doesn't say it here, that's right. Today in 2009, Harry Callis passed away. He was a great announcer for the Phillies, started his career with the Astros. He was the voice. He was my the soundtrack to my summer nights growing up. If they count Ichiro's hits in Japan, they should count Pete Rose's high school hits. That's a great Pete Rose quote. Tyler McGill, Jim, he looked good for you yesterday. Just caught the Phillies at a bad time. Oh, my tweet. I don't think I tweeted out that on Twitter. There it goes. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm sorry about that. Today in baseball, what else happened? Looking like MLB trade rumors. Luke Jackson got Tommy John surgery, was expected. Luis Patino, Tampa Bay pitcher, 60-day DL. Alex Kirilloff, 10-day DL. Down goes the young Trim. There you go. What's up, King M? A little easier on there. Yeah, all the starters have looked good for you guys. Boehm handled himself. Yeah, he did the stand-up thing. He smiled. He said, "Yep, I said it. I'm sorry." Is that a frustration? You couldn't have handled that any better than he did. Can't think of any other way, unless he just got up and did the Generation X Shawn Michaels thing. But it's good stuff. You see Mr. Met over there? Mr. Met's happy. YouTube, Twitter, OnlyFans. You don't agree? What do you mean? What do you think he should have did? Said, yeah, I meant it. Trade me? That would have been crazy if he took the heel turn, like a Ric Flair kind of approach. He probably didn't mean it, yeah, but he didn't come out and say he meant it. But, if the fans didn't boo or cheer for him, they wouldn't. He would be like persona non grata. Like he wouldn't even matter. So he still matters to us somehow. Oh yeah, Billy Martin. He would have punched Didi Gregorius when he was walking back, and Didi passed him and like nodded at him. Oh, he has been banned by King M. Bowman the Fanatic, or banned by King M. Um, it's like Jake. I hate when like athletes talk. For instance, Jake Arrieta said he took a shot at Clayton Kershaw. He said, "If it's your first hitter or 30th hitter, you stay in for a perfect game." And it's coming from a guy who had like one good year, who probably never pitched a perfect, who definitely never pitched a perfect game no hitter, who probably even never even threw a complete game in his career. It's Kershaw's first start. He had 80 pitches. Wait, okay, at what cost though? Not to bring up a sore subject for Jimmy, but look at Johan Santana. He threw that no hitter, which was great. Yeah, we got a no hitter. He was never the same afterwards. Are you referring to his quote? Um, he said, what did he say? If there wasn't a lockdown and he picked up the ball, it might have been different. If he didn't wait till January to pick up the ball. Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was pissed when they took him out. I guess the manager probably told him, "Hey, act like it was the right thing." He sold out. I didn't know that. I just saw his quote saying he agreed with it, but it sounded scripted. It did sound scripted. I didn't know that. I didn't know Beltran had a controversial hit in that no hitter. What inning was that hit? Supposed 254 pitches. Jeez, that's like 4 or 5 games for some pitchers nowadays. Like Kershaw pitched 80 pitches today, 3.5 games. Nolan Ryan throws one game, 254 pitches. Obs talking about pulling pitchers in the middle of no hitters. Santana was awesome. He was a great pitcher. So if that was a fair ball, that might have saved Yohan Santana's career. We'll look that up tonight. Um, Santana, did he start his career with the Twins? Refresh my memory. I want to look it up. In case we don't know. Oh, I typed in Johan Santana. The first thing that came up was Johan Santana no hitter controversy. Johan Santana, he first major league action was with Minnesota. He was signed by the Astros as a free agent. Thought he was drafted by the Marlins from the Astros in a Rule 5 draft. The Marlins, wow, imagine the Marlins kept him. Traded from the Marlins with cash to the Twins for Jared Camp. And then the Twins traded him to the Mets for Carlos Gomez, Deolis Guerra, Phil Humber, who I think pitched a no-hitter, came close, and Kevin Mulvey. He signed with the Orioles and the Blue Jays as free agents, 2014-2015, respectively. You're absolutely right. Yeah, the Marlins drafted him to trade him. No, I remember reading somewhere he was a Rule 5 pick. But he never pitched for any other team except teams, except the Mets and the Twins. He never appeared in games with Baltimore or Toronto. Let's see what this guy did in career. He ended his career 139 to 78, 3.2 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, wow, there's a lot of bold numbers on his baseball reference page, which is league leader. Good player. Oh, wait. Let me see something. This is 91 Studio. Let's see. Santana pitched from 2000 to 2012, so he probably won't be on here. Santana, he follows folks on Twitter. He's like Jose Bautista, right? 2 home runs tonight. Crazy. The Parrot card, that's right, Steve Lake. Ron Robinson, wasn't he in something about Mary? Forgot the guy's name. Woogie. He was allergic to shoes. That's right. Yeah, my man Rob One, you owe a lot of people an engraved apology, and if I may quote Apollo Creed in Rocky 3. Vlad was not too fat. It was just baby fat. Just had to grow up a little. Gator Greenwell, Mike Greenwell. Greg Gagne. Look at him holding that bat. It's very seductive. Chuck Finley looks like a rocker. You have always been a fan of Vlad. I will admit, you always have. It's a great call. I soured on him after the first year, but a lot of people thought Willie Wiley Mopena would be a Hall of Famer. I mean, guy had power for days. Craig Biggio, catcher. You don't see that often. Andy Benes. There you go, Jim. Gary Carter. It's on the Dodgers, though. He's got the hat backwards, channeling his inner Ken Griffey Jr. The big catcher's mitt, the ball right there. It's like the Milwaukee Brewers logo. If you squint real hard and drop a few LSD tabs, you'll see it. Of course, the smile. Dave Anderson, Brian Barnes. Wasn't he in Karate Kid 3? Looks like he's ready to knock over some bonsai plants. And Rod Carew. That looks like a pretty cool puzzle on the back. If I just had the patience to complete it. And that's Rod Carew. No lie. All right, Obi, I'm glad you're on because you got to tell me what year this is. This is Donruss Series 1. 90, 91, 92. We're stuck in the 90s here. We just opened in 91. This is probably around that same era. I think these are the green cards, blue cards. Either way, the goal's Kazeko. I get the damn pack open. Nobody's collecting the puzzle piece because there's some pack stuck to it. It's Willie Stargell. We don't have a Pirates correspondent, so I don't feel bad. Yeah, they're the blue ones. I think the green ones were Series 2. Jim Acker, Robbie Thompson. Topps All-Star Rookie Cup, 87. Steve Buechele, he had like, 2 good years of 21 home runs maybe. Greg Briley, I always thought he would be good. What do I know? Jeff, if you're watching, there's a nice little checklist for you. The first name I saw on it was Ozzie Smith. Tim Jones. Sounds like a made up name. Probably is. Mike Blowers. I'm not one to make fun of someone, but this kid probably got his ass handed to him. Quite a few kids, like all kids, make fun of other kids growing up. Unfortunately, Mike Blowers. That's a win. The checklist, the Ozzie Smith piece. Jose Lind and Randy Bush. So we got Bush and Blowers. Blowers came from Seattle to New York. He was an okay prospect at the time. Who did they trade for him? I gotta look that up. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to spend time looking on Mike Blowers. What's going to bother me until I know who he was traded for. All right, he was traded from the Yankees to the Mariners. Doesn't say for who on Wikipedia. Sucks. See, now I got to go to another website. Baseball Reference. They're usually good. It's his first search. Usually, when you search for a blower, you're not looking for a New Yorkie third baseman when you're on the internet, right? He was an A. He played for Oakland in '98, Dodgers in '97. Why do I remember that? Maybe if the computer shuts down, it's because Google said, like, what? Right now, Google is calling the FBI on me for searching for Mike Blowers. So if you hear knock on the door, it's definitely a Colombo. Traded by the Yankees to the Mariners. The Expos traded him to the Yankees for John Candelaria. He was a pretty good pitcher. Yankees traded him to the Mariners for a player to be named later who turned out to be Jim Blueberg. How crazy is that? The past tense of blow is blue. And Blueberg was traded for worse. That's the funny thing is, yeah, like there's no reason for anybody to search this guy. But now we found out how their names are connected. Player to be named later. Yeah, you name it later because it's past tense. They had to plan that. Steinbrenner and I don't know who the Mariners GM was. Woody Woodward was the GM at the time, former Philly GM, and the Yankees GM at the time. They really are. He's a very popular trade target, player to be named later. It's like a rabbit hole. Now I'm looking up who the the Yankees GM it was at the time. I was going to say, yeah, stump. Gene Michael. Gene Michael traded Mike Blowers to Woody Woodward for Blueberg. Some crazy shit that we just discovered. Woody traded Blower for Bluer. Only 16 of it. Wow, it's like what, like 14%? You know, it's probably for the next month. A lot of games are going to come down to bullpens, and which starters limit the runs. 12.5%, 12.7%. It's amazing. Don Carmen. He was the ace of the Phillies in the mid '80s. Tells you all you need to know about the Phillies win-loss record, like 87. Wade Boggs All-Star card. Margot Adams. I want to get her to autograph one of his cards. Don Carmen was rough, wasn't he? Reminds me of the vet and those stale hot dogs. This is pretty crazy, Jim. It's coincidental you're here and we're going to do this to you. Back-to-back Mets. Both are Dave Magadan.
No time. It's got to be 8:13. He's about to get yelled at.
It's 8:25. Dave Magadan, Diamond King. Dave Magadan, bass, treble, back-to-back. You hardly ever see something like that. If I was C3PO, I would tell you the odds. Okay, now, final two cards of the pack. Former Philly legend Bob Boone. It's a sign, yeah, the day the Mets embarrassed the Phillies, we pull out two Magadans. Used to PC Magadan, really. He was a hot rookie coming up, if you remember. 300 hitter. I don't remember what kind of power he had in the minors. Doesn't look right. Boone on the Royals and Bill Sampson. The only thing good about him was his jersey. Magadan making a comeback. Wasn't he? He was a hitting coach for Arizona at one point. Now, who is, though? Greg Jeffries liked Carl's tweet. He replied to someone, Phillies legend Greg Jeffries showed two of his auto cards, and about 2 weeks ago, and today Jeffries liked it. PSC,
Anthony.
Stadium Club. I think it's 95.
Very nice to have. I don't know how to do it.
These are really nice. We're going to really enjoy it. They're definitely jizzed up.
Nice stick?
Did it already.
You did. Where's the food?
Still in there. I'm going to take it up in a little bit when I take out the trash. And look, if you want. I mean, he's down here now, so he's going to use it right after you. We're discussing the cats. The cat's down here, and the litter box is down here, and the cat's just looking. The cat fears me. I don't know why. I think I'm a nice guy. The other cat doesn't. I'm sure you guys all weren't wondering about my pets. So now you know. These cards are beautiful. Look at this. Bob Tewksbury, who was a really bad pitcher, but this card makes him look really good. And then on the back, it's like they tried to clone him. Tewksbury, he tweeted the other day, where's the time gone since my first win in the majors? And it was like 30 years ago. Domestic stuff. It's real life. Real life and intercedes baseball sometimes. Mark McLemore. It's a nice card, though. I think I see another Met, coincidentally. No, it's an Expo. Shane Andrews. Elvis Andrews' father. This is pretty cool. It's not Benito, it's Benny Santiago. I always thought that was just like a short name. Like I never thought I'd see a card that said Benny Santiago. What'd you find out? Big news. All right. It's in the Reds. Nick, if you're watching, I didn't know this. Did you? Andre Dawson on the Marlins. This is beyond bizarre. There's one of those transaction cards. What the hell is this? Lee Smith, the Angels. I can't believe he's still around. Extreme Core, Jeff King. He had a couple good years. I think Jeff was a big fan of him. I think because they shared the same first name. I never knew that. Wow. Oh yeah, he definitely has to be number one. Wow, I never knew that. Congratulations. So you could probably start you could change your team name to John Wayne. Sort of like an inside joke. Nobody will know why. And then when Veg says something about it, you can just tell him to look it up. I didn't finish. Kevin Brown. Like, do that part. Transaction. Ken Caminiti. RIP. Don't do roids, kids. The badass reruns in the family. Tommy, Marion. This pack is like really one of the worst packs I've ever opened in my life. Jose Offerman, Lance Paris, and Jim Doherty. There's really no reason for these cards to have been produced. Tops did bad there. All right, fellas, that's all I got tonight. Go Phillies. Hopefully they get back on the winning track Thursday in Miami. Trivia, Andrew Painter, bunch of other slop here. I don't know. Who hit his 4,000th hit today for the Montreal Expos back in 1984? Retweet the answer. Don't type it here. Hope you guys all have a good evening. Thank you for watching. You keep watching. I'll keep ripping. Have a good night.